Ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls, two of our AI tickers did announce earnings today. So we're going to kick it off with AMD. I'm going to break them both down for you, give you their earnings, how they performed, and we're going to break it down on the charts. So AMD, they announced their earnings. That's why we're here. So they have an earnings of 62 cents per share, slightly above the estimate of 60 cents per share. The revenue for the quarter was $5.47 billion, which almost meets the expectations of 5.48. So miss, and obviously that's what justifies the sell-off. As far as AMD, their revenue guidance for the upcoming quarter was lower than the analysts' expectations, predicting $5.4 billion, which anticipated was $5.7 billion. So I think that's probably that guidance is what led to this. If you want to talk about, I know I'm trying to do the whole earnings thing like everyone else. It was the guidance. That's why. Anyway, so you made on earnings per share. You missed by a fraction of nothing. But the guidance and the slowdown there is what has a lot of people questioning the whole AI thing. Are chips really slowing down? It's more of a conservative outlook as far as how what they're saying. How I take it, because I'm getting a lot of questions about what's this going to mean for NVIDIA? And right now, with NVIDIA being the cream of the crop, Intel and AMD selling off like this, if there was going to be a slowdown, you would see it in these two first. You certainly, if you saw NVIDIA sell off like this, these two would get decimated. So as far as those are your earnings number, there's your reaction, your guidance, all that. What we ended up doing was we pulled up right to a bright yellow box that some random YouTuber drew. We found some sellers. We sold all the way off down to this bright yellow box. And if you were here on Sunday, you watched me draw this white line, the expected move. We went right to that, found some buyers. So for now, I got to say, is this a dip buy? I do kind of think so. It's a dip buy enough for me that it would be nothing I would probably want to day trade. If I were buying this right now, it would probably be something more on a weekly time frame, much like I'm buying anything else. I don't think the red is done yet. Now, I do think we're closer to green than we are more selling. Does that make sense? If we're going to 10, we're at like a 6. We got 4 more numbers. Hopefully I'm making sense to you guys. It's enough that if I'll ride the rest of the storm out without trying to nail the absolute bottom. Being an AI play, I do want to have more shares of these. I will sell calls against it. Selling calls against it gets much easier when we're trending up because you just never know when we're going to turn on that dime. So selling calls right now, I do sell further out of the money, which collects significantly less after red days, but I don't want to have shares and not collect rent on them. So jumping into Amazon, I got my notes over here. Amazon announced first quarter earnings. The company reported earnings per share, 0.78, so 78 cents, which was below the analyst consensus estimated of 81%. 81 cents. So despite the miss, Amazon's revenue exceeded expectations, coming in at $143.31 billion, forecasted at $142.65. So we got a beat there with a slight miss. So looking ahead as far as their guidance goes, their expectations, they have various expectations. I typed that very weird. Indicating expectations for growth in various sectors. There we go. The company is focusing on expanding AWS, their web services infrastructure, new regions and availability zones planned. It's investing heavily in AI technologies and partnerships with major companies like Amgen and Salesforce, and we will take a look at them to help their services out. Additionally, they expect to continue its innovation across all business areas, aiming to both meet current customer needs and invent new products and services. What they mean is you invent something really cool, and if it sells a lot on our website, we're going to go ahead and make that. We're going to make it cheaper, and we're going to put it at our top of our list. It's how they remain the king and on top. But I will say, as far as their guidance goes, sounded pretty cool with a slight miss. And overall, we dropped down to the expected move. We shot up to this zone, ultimately holding. Words and numbers sometimes get hard. But we sold off into this zone today, and then pushed it up, all up, down, all around. So I'll tell you guys how I won and lost on this. AMD, you guys know I was just long calls. Those are going to be just toasted off, clean off the top. Earnings play just did not make it there. As far as this one goes, I was long calls. And then today I bought shares at around 180 bucks. I bought 100 shares, and then I sold the 185 because the 185 call was 560 bucks. And it's like, that's cool. You know, I'll make about $1,000 if it sends it. That's an easy money for me. So I did it. Now, this is not my investment account. This is in my trading account. I thought, you know what, that's cool. Let me get 900 more shares and 9 more contracts. Let's make that, you know, $10,000. You know, if you like 1,000, you love 10,000. That was my math there. But then as my exposure to the long side definitely increased to earnings, I got an airbag play, which was the 145 puts. Airbags, to me, they are the cheap play. You know, as far as your car goes, relatively speaking, the airbag, pretty cheap. If you get in a wreck, that cheap airbag you have saves your life, and that's what this hedge is for. You know, if we just send this thing Dale Earnhardt right into a median on the highway or something, you know, I don't want to lose a bunch if we send it up. I don't want to go delta neutral, but if we send it down, I want to have something to buy the dip with, so that's what it was. So ultimately, I will lose twice on the calls and puts that I bought, but on the calls I have sold with the shares not really going anywhere, I will ultimately end out ahead on this one. Them being up tomorrow just with Vega Crush, I'll probably buy them back to close, and if we get a pop, sell them again, double dip on that. If we are, however, just down, might just continue to have it. I'll have to not roll out. I will roll it. Those will obviously be for a profit, and then I'll roll into next week and collect a full week's worth of theta, not just exchange it for this Friday's, and just change the strike, if that makes sense. So for all the traders that still watch this channel, shout out to you guys. If you guys are unaware, I will still talk AI stocks on this one, both investing and trading. AI news on Don Fron Show. Don Fron Trading will have all stocks, both AI and not. So weekly expected moves, all of that. So anyway, to clear up any confusion there, that's how we're rocking this thing going forward. So I'm going to wrap it up here, ladies and gentlemen. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.